is Ina with Innichka Chef and welcome to my kitchen. Today in episode I'm making pie. It's a pie season and I can't wait to share with you my favorite recipe for apple pie. A week ago we went with my family, and for kids that was first time to apple picking to the farm up in North Carolina, and it was fantastic. Everyone so much enjoy, and we have big competition who will eat the most variety of apples. And I cannot tell you how many apples I ate that day, but it was good, it was worth it. It was delicious and good. We love it. We brought so many apples, and now I'm on a hunt for new recipes for apples. But today I want to share with you all-time favorite, my husband's favorite year-round. Actually, he loves apple pie. I would like to mention the main key ingredient for the crust. This double crust is super flaky and also buttery. So what can be better? Sugar, butter, and apples. Oh my goodness. Doesn't it sound good? Combination of all those three components, it's delicious. It's I'm already want to eat. It's great. But my secret ingredients for the butter crust, it's lard. So I would call butter lard crust. And I'm using lard, homemade lard. You can buy good quality lard in the grocery now. It's available next to duck fat or beef fat. You have to find good quality. Don't buy the one it stands next to the Crisco. It's not good. And Crisco, you will never see in my recipes. I never use any of those type of fats, only natural fat. And the most priced in fat in the pork, it's leaf fat. It's a fat surrounded around organs, and it's the best for cooking. Has very little flavor, or I would say very nutrient, no flavor. That's the reason, actually, it's the main reason why I don't like use full lard crust, because no flavor. You need butter for flavor. So I'm doing combination, and butter, as always in all my recipes, I'm using grass-fed organic. Care Gold is good butter. Also some from farmers market I'm using as well. So it has good content on fat, and it's good. Lard is good, it has so much vitamin D and other good thing. And don't worry about saturated fat. Don't worry. Enjoy your life, and it's time to eat a lot of pies. It's almost holiday season. And the rest of ingredients pretty typical. All-purpose flour, unbleached, organic as always. Little bit of sugar, little bit of salt, and apple cider vinegar. It's needed for crust to make more flaky. Actually helps elevate butter and makes those pockets of butter what everyone loves in crust. Let's do it. And as you know, I like to save time, and if you have time, enjoy and make crust with this little tool, dough cutter. But if you don't have time like I am, I'm using a food processor, and it's easy and quick. I will show you, and it's always work beautiful. And another thing important, ice water has to be really cold, and butter has to be cold. So a few minutes before you make a pie, just cut in it in pieces and stick in the freezer just for a few minutes, and will help. Let's do it. Flour and escape. Salt and sugar. And now time to add butter. And we need 7 tablespoons of lard. 3. Now when you see the tiny pieces of butter, keep that way. You don't want completely to be diluted with flour. You want those little pockets of fat. It's good. It's the way we want. So the last ingredients left to add is vinegar and water. And I like to mix together just to distribute vinegar evenly. So we're using only 1 tablespoon of vinegar, and we need about 7 tablespoons ice cold water. It's important. Pieces ice, 2 pieces of ice cut. So now we just slowly to add while we are still processing of flour, a little bit. One more. Now, it looks dry, looks like it's not ready, but as you see, it starts, you can put together and it's working. So you don't want to do any more of liquid. It's just perfect as it is. Dough for the pie is very delicate and you don't want gluten get developed. It's not a bread, so we don't want overwork with dough. As soon as it starts, you see you can put together, it's done. You don't want to do any more work to this dough. And what I like to do, scrape gently and manage to not cut my finger, which is I have done in the past. Hopefully I won't do this today. And place in Ziploc bag or any plastic wrap and keep in the fridge between 30 to 40 minutes or even longer. Sometimes I do 9 before I'm planning to make pie. But as long as it has to get cold, so the minimum 30 minutes. And now shape. I like to keep in Ziploc bags so prevent from mess. Less mess is better. And make sure it's flat, so when we will roll, it's just easy to work later on. Yeah. Now it's like big one big disc. And finally, while our dough is resting in the fridge, working on our filling. So for the apples, of course, Granny Smith would be the first choice, right? But I recommend actually to make variety of cooking apples. It makes better texture and also the flavor profile. That's the most important. It's more fun. More delicious pie will be. Make old-fashioned ways, the way people did 100 years ago. Not only stick with the one, it's very available and very popular for the apple, but during season, grocery usually carry more different varieties of apples. So what I'm going to use, Granny Smith, Golden Delicious, also Red Delicious, and this Matsu, I can pronounce it correct. If you know how to say this variety, it's delicious and it's great for cooking as well. So I incorporate those kinds of apples. But if you like to use only Granny Smith, increase amount of sugar. I'm using half cup of sugar. If you like sweeter, add more. If you like less sweeter, add less. It's up to you. And the rest of ingredients for the filling, we need butter, of course, good quality butter. Sugar, I mentioned cornstarch I'm using. You can use, if you don't like cornstarch, all-purpose flour will work just fine. And spices, classic spices for the apple pie. It will be a cinnamon, nutmeg, also allspice and clove. That's what I like to use. Sometimes you can buy mixture of apple pie spice if it's easier for you, whatever. Also another secret ingredient, I would say, I'm using egg white just to glaze of bottom of the crust a little bit, prevent from sogginess. Because we are not pre-baking pie crust and it's saving time, but also a little bit of barrier between apple filling and crust helps to keep moisture away from a crust. Also, the apples are not pre-cooked. You could if you like, but I chose and I make many times with raw apples, and I like that way. I think it's juicy, more flavor leaves, but if you like cook, it's a great option as well. I like to peel my apples from the top and then continue all the way. We need about 8 to 10 cups of apples. About 9 would be perfect, I think. And I'm using 9.5 inch glass dish for baking. And keeping in mind, if you're using ceramic dish, it's at 10 minutes of baking time because ceramic usually takes longer. Another good tip to know, we're going to bake on a low rack pie, and it's very important as well as high temperature. I'm baking in 375, and it's always great result. It's bubbling, and would be nice to put some baking sheet under because we don't want any spills in the oven. I have done that many times. Cut all pieces even. It's another key thing to do. You have to cut all evenly, otherwise they won't cook the same amount of time. Some will be overcooked, mushed, some will be undercooked. So I like to cut all the same thickness. And we need about 9 cups. So now it's time to add quickly lemon juice because we don't want brown apples. We need about 2 tablespoons. I think it's about right. Mix everything nicely and thoroughly. And sugar. And my pie is slightly under sweet because I like salty with tiny bit of sweet, just tiny bit, but mostly salty crust, savory. You can use this crust actually for savory pies. And slightly tart filling, and we eat it with vanilla ice cream, with homemade vanilla ice cream actually. And I will link below my recipe, how I make, and it's well worth, especially for Thanksgiving or any other occasion. And spices. So I have cinnamon, nutmeg, allspice, and clove. Everything goes in, and nutmeg we need to grate. Mary, if you're watching me, I love your grater. Thank you. Micro, tiny, and gives perfect texture for nutmeg. Vanilla, and mix all together. And you mix it until you see some juice start releasing from sugar. Oh, that looks so good. It's going to be good pie. At this point, as you see some liquid start showing up, they are nice and sweat. We like to add it in cornstarch. Mix them all together. The crust is nice and cold. Cut in half. And one half we keep, and another one will start going. And I like to use 2 pieces of purchased paper, or you can use plastic wrap, whatever you like. Now I'm using glass dish. Carefully. Carefully move dough and now peel. peel the paper. There we go. And now time to cover with egg whites, the bottom, and will prevent from sogginess. Because apple during cooking will release lots of water, lots of juice. And butter, you need butter. And make sure you cut on top. This prevents from have gap between filling and a crust, and also it's expense and get rid of it extra moist during cooking. It's steaming, so we need to have opening. Also, I like to egg wash. 1 tablespoon of milk and 1 egg yolk mixed together. Beautiful, beautiful egg yolk. Look at this, gorgeous. And now we're ready for the oven. 375 Fahrenheit, and it's about 1 hour and 10 minutes on low rack. It's fantastic. Look at this, how golden, beautiful, and smells so good. I cannot wait to try. It's very tempting to cut right away, but it will be a soupy apple mess if we cut right away. So you have to wait at least 30 minutes. And many chefs recommend much longer, but on a granite, it's cooling down much faster. So if you cool it on a cutting board, like wooden cutting board, it will take longer, but granite, actually, everything cool down faster. So I will give 30 minutes before I will cut and share with you how it looks and taste. Oh yes. It's still slightly warm. And we like to eat apple pie with vanilla ice cream. And I have homemade vanilla ice cream, and I will link below a recipe for my ice cream. It's well worth to have homemade with homemade pie. Look how pretty. Let me try. Delicious. Absolutely delicious. I hope you give it a try and make this pie for your family. It's a pie season, it's an apple season. Enjoy your holiday with family, make pie, treat yourself with delicious, good quality and nutritious food. Give me a like and subscribe if you want to support my channel, and give me a comment if you like, and see you next time. Bye.